Diddy, Sean Combs, has been taken to solitary confinement in prison, according to a source with knowledge of what happened. It comes after a fight with another inmate at Fort Dix in New Jersey, where he's being held. Combs is not set for release until February of 2028.
But these pedophiles had resources. They bought an island, and they took children there.
The new report out today chronicles Diddy's rise to power in the business world, detailing how he was able to cozy up with the rich and powerful and expand his influence beyond the music industry, ingratiating himself with billionaires, a tactic that's being compared to Jeffrey Epstein's ascent.
Between Diddy and Epstein, it's good. There's probably several thousand hours of footage here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I should say, I think you voted for Biden.
I'd like to see a matchup of those, call it the top 100 puppet masters on the Epstein client list.
Diddy just got thrown in solitary confinement, and now DL Hughley is coming out and saying what a lot of us were thinking. This man is not making it out of prison alive. And you can see why. Diddy has too many secrets, too many powerful friends, and too much dirt on people who would literally rather see him 6 feet under than in a courtroom again. And DL pointed this out before Diddy was even locked up. He said Diddy was just a pawn in a bigger game, and there are people with way more power and influence who enabled his crimes. And the last thing those people want is for Diddy to get out and start talking. So let's break down exactly what happened in prison, what DL said, and who the people are who want to make sure Diddy never gets a chance to snitch on them.
You said, will he cooperate? That motherfucker gonna be squealing on everybody. Yo, Cam, yo, he not built to do no time. He not built to be in situations like that.
All right, let's start with what just happened to Diddy in prison. Diddy is currently serving a 50-month federal sentence at FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey. And that's a low-security facility, by the way. They put him there supposedly so he could attend a treatment program for his substance addiction, and he's scheduled to get out in February 2028. But a low-security facility also means Diddy doesn't get any special treatment or protective custody just for being a celebrity. The same general housing policies apply to all inmates in the unit, and Diddy is not entitled to a private cell. And now some sources are saying they put Diddy there on purpose to set him up and make sure he doesn't get out in 2028. So here's what happened. Diddy was recently involved in a fight with another inmate and placed in solitary confinement. The inmate made some comment that Diddy didn't like, and we don't know exactly what was said, but Diddy went off and jumped this man. Sources say things escalated fast, and both men started throwing punches. Prison staff had to step in and break it up, and Diddy was placed in the hole. However, the Federal Bureau of Prisons refused to comment. A spokesperson just released a short statement saying the agency does not comment on the conditions of confinement, disciplinary matters, or other information regarding individual inmates due to privacy, safety, and security concerns. But here's what we do know. Any disciplinary action like this could affect Diddy's good conduct credits, and that means his release date could get pushed back. And that's just the surface. According to DL Hughley, this fight wasn't random. Instead, it looks like they're trying to provoke Diddy on purpose and set him up to make sure he doesn't talk. So DL's whole point is that Diddy has too many secrets, and the people who bankrolled him are not about to let him start talking.
And these things can only happen with accomplices. These things can only happen with people who are willing to aid and abet as long as there's something in it for them. They're willing to look the other way or pretend like it didn't happen or shock me at all. But the truth of the matter, there are a great many people who knew what was going on. A great many people.
Because here's the thing about Diddy's crimes. He didn't do it just for his own sick pleasure. There's a reason he had hidden cameras in every corner of his mansion, in his studio, and even on his private jet. And there's a reason why he stored all those tapes. But Diddy wasn't just recording other rappers and random party guests. There were some very powerful people who attended those FO sessions, allegedly. See, we know Davis was the one who first propped Diddy and helped him start Bad Boy. And yes, gone, but he's not the only powerful man who enabled and funded Diddy's empire. Diddy also had close business ties with other billionaires like Lucian Grange, Ron Burkle, Ray Dalio, Mark Benioff, William Lauder, Mark Cuban. There are a lot of powerful people whose names didn't even get brought up in the trial, but who are now allegedly panicking that Diddy might snitch on them. Basically, the theory goes that Diddy was doing the same thing as Jeffrey Epple, just in the hip-hop world. And we know what happened to Jeffrey before he got a chance to snitch. Here's journalist Ian Carroll talking about this.
What Diddy's operation looks like to me is another blackmail ring that there are bosses above him that are getting protected, and those bosses above him work for an international crime organization, because that's just how the blackmail world is. Like, he's not the dude in charge of this thing.
No, he's a low-level guy probably.
Yeah, and he was groomed into his position clearly by Davis, right? Andre Harrell, Lucian Grange nowadays, but
I believe they're all of the same.
Yeah, Davis has clearly got mob ties. He was deeply involved in the payola scandals.
What was the payola scandal?
Payola scandals is when they were paying radio stations to play music. Columbia Records got investigated for this. When Columbia Records was getting investigated because it's illegal to pay radio stations for content that's not announced. Like, you can pay for an ad, but you can't pay a radio station to play Rihanna without saying.
I know they do that.
It.
I didn't know they weren't allowed to do
That's
that.
how they construct all their top hits. That's how they
they
get all these, like, you know, all this music to be so fucking degenerate.
Look at the rap music they pushed.
Exactly. They got to fill their prisons somehow. And payola, Clive was investigated for payola, and then he stepped down from his position at Columbia Records right when they started getting investigated, and they just like rode off into the sunset.
So yeah, is gone. But like I said, he's not the only one with shady business ties to Diddy. Take Ron Burkle, for example. He's actually a direct link between Diddy and Jeffrey. Burkle invested heavily in Diddy's ventures, including a reported $100 million investment in Sean John in 2003. Diddy publicly described Burkle as a mentor who invested in people rather than just companies. And he even said Burkle never left my side during his past criminal case in '99. Not only that, but Diddy actually picked Burkle to be the godfather of his children. Meanwhile, Ron Burkle's name appears in Jeffrey's infamous Little Black Book, and he's also on the flight logs. And this is what DL Hughley means when he says Diddy is just a small fish in a much bigger pond. This doesn't mean that Diddy is innocent or wrongly accused, but it means he's the fall guy for bigger fish. And all those powerful people who surrounded Diddy, funded his parties, and protected him during his past legal troubles aren't coming to save him this time. Actually, they're probably hoping he takes his secrets to the grave. I mean, even Jay-Z publicly denied he was friends with Diddy. After Diddy's arrest, Jay got his lawyer, Alex Spiro, who by the way also appears in the Jeffrey files, to release a statement saying there was no friendship or long-time bond between Jay and Diddy. Now think about how panicked Jay must be to do this. He knows there are a ton of receipts out there that he and Diddy were friends for decades, and not just casual friends either. Diddy literally said Jay was family, and the first person he calls when he's in trouble.
Give it up for Jay-Z, yo! Hey, yo, check this out. Hey, yo, Hov, man. Hey, yo, Hov is doing a lot of things, man. Most importantly, you know, he had a recital that he has to be at the blue. But I reached out to him, and I told him that this right here was important. Bad Boy's celebrating 20 years of hits. And this is extended family. You've been there with me through my ups and downs. Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. It's my strategist right here. This is my brother. It's B.I.G's brother. Yes, sir. It's Brooklyn's own Brooklyn!
Did you catch that part about Blue? Jay skipped his own daughter's recital to perform with Diddy, but now he's publicly claiming there was no friendship or long-term bond? That means he's desperate to distance himself from Diddy by any means necessary. And DL Hughley talked about this too. He pointed out that despite Jay publicly denying any wrongdoing, Diddy did exactly the same. He kept denying everything until that hotel surveillance footage leaked.
So I think Jay-Z's tone was exactly, but see, I saw Puffy say the same and then a video came out.
Yeah. So who's to say there's no more footage like this out there? Not just of Diddy or even Jay-Z, but potentially many other powerful people who did business with Diddy for years. And now the biggest question is whether Diddy's story ends with him behind bars, or whether more names come out before his sentence is over. Because according to DL Hughley, Diddy might be sitting on information that could expose a lot of powerful people. And you know those people will do whatever it takes to cover their tracks. But what do you think? Is Diddy just the fall guy for a much bigger network? Will Diddy really walk free in 2028? Or do you think they'll set him up and silence him for good? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video.